Former Governor of Lagos State and former Minister of the Federal Republic, Babatunde Raji Fashola. Thank you so much for staying the course on the program.
Thank you.
You governed Lagos for 8 years. When you look back at Lagos today, what gives you the greatest satisfaction and what worries you the most?
Well, satisfaction is a continuing experience. It's difficult to say this one thing did it. But I know what it was like in 1999, and I know what it became in 2007 when I took it, and how it becomes just a touch-passing moment, each person adding their own perspective. So sustainability is the big concern. How do we sustain all of the good work that has been done? And that's a lot of engagement, whether it is infrastructure that we build, whether it is policies that we inaugurate. How do we sustain those policies without necessarily fettering the discretion of the next team of public servants to say, look, this is not working, we want to change it. And I think that's a healthy conversation to have.
You've been away for close to 2 decades now. Does it bother you that it's July 2026 and we're still talking about flooding as a major challenge in Lagos? I had the Commissioner for the Environment yesterday, and we opened the phone lines, and you'll be shocked that people were complaining about massive refuse dumps, you know, on major road medians and markets in Lagos. When you see that today, what comes to your mind?
You see, the first thing to understand is that the state itself is 2 meters below sea level. Let's just understand that. And it is bounded by the Atlantic Ocean on the southern side, and in some parts where we are, for example, is part of a peninsula that is bounded on the southern side but heading up north by the Lagos Lagoon. So there's a hydraulic system of flooding control there. There is a lot of impediments to proper discharge of flood water. You can't run away from flooding if you are 2 meters below sea level. You are dealing with issues of climate change. The question is, how long does it last? And so on and so forth. And then, of course, human behavior like refuse management, refuse indiscriminate disposal of refuse will then impact what your experience is. By the same token, we're looking for more land to build houses. We're by the coast, so we sand fill. During sand filling, you can't control how the dredger pumps sand and will block during that period some water discharging points. The important thing is that immediately you finish, you must go and open up all of those. So some of the extreme incidents that I think we have experienced now is a combination of all of those factors, including unusually heavy rainfall. And I hazard a guess, this is just a guess from my experience, that we may have inadvertently dammed a few places. Either because it happened to me in 2007, 2008. An area flooded that never used to flood. And then we realized that because we were building the concrete lining for a canal, we had dammed it so that the concrete would set. Of course, we didn't remember to open it. So, and the whole city was on top of our heads. This place, there's no flood, this Fashola has come now, and all of that, until we found where the problem was.
Do we need to rethink our appetite for recovering land? You know, we've encroached into wetlands, mangroves, and whatever.
There's something to be said about the work that all our predecessors have done, from Ubolaji Johnson right through to President Tinubu when I took office, and they've done a lot of work in terms of dredging. I'm always thankful for the work they did, so it was for us to consolidate on it. Now, So you are in this lovely new office. Without some sand filling and sand reclamation, you won't have this building. So that's the answer to your question. So if you want more land, the population is growing, so we can't kick people out, we can't stop people from coming in. We did a study that has told us that we can sand fill more on the lagoon side. That study is there, and we should leave the Atlantic side to breathe. So what has happened on this side of the Atlantic, as you recall it, was the sea defense protection for the flooding of the Bar Beach, which has held, and now buildings are now, but more development for land reclamation and development purposes should take place more on the lagoon side rather than the Atlantic side.
You didn't react to the issue of waste management. Are you shocked that Lagos is still this dirty in 2026?
I think Lagosians must choose what they want. If they want a clean city, then everybody must be responsible for it.
Doesn't government has a role to play?
Yeah, government has a role to play, but how many tenements can government realistically monitor? Let's be fair.
People are complaining that trucks are not even picking their waste from the road.
Understandably should complain, but there was a system. That system was from just dumping it into the bin to bagging. And then from bagging to, we used to have this collector site at Dolphin. Because also, the trucks that are supposed to come and move the refuse are going to come in the same traffic we are also complaining about. So we had this, what's the name of those trucks now? They used to be able to compact and move the capacity of 6 trucks in one truck.
Yeah.
We ensured that they moved at night. And so I still see transfer loading stations at Ilubiri. And the expansion also, everything that I think can be done has been done. And I think we just used to go back to basic habit reinforcement.
All right.
I think if they put the refuse in the right place, and there are some places that generate more refuse than others. So I remember the head of refuse collection, once I called him and he said, look, we have moved that place twice today. And I said, okay, it's clear that our capacity to respond is not enough. Let us bring an extra, what's that big collector, because we had only one, so we moved it twice. Let us bring another collector so that we have 2 collectors, and let us move 3 times, which is 6 times, because it was a market. So we just have to respond.
Let's touch on politics.